Alright guys, so a lot of people always look for different alternatives to the Apple Magic Keyboard because it's either too expensive or they just want more angles, more versatility, whatever the case may be. And this is an option that a lot of people look at. And this is the Logitech Combo Touch for the iPad Pro M4 13-inch. Now, this does come for a lot of different iPads, and the price on this one is $259.99, and that is for the 13-inch M4 iPad Pro. Now, the prices vary depending on the model, but the link to it will be down in the description below for you guys to check out. So, let's take a look. Now, on the front, it does say Combo Touch keyboard case for the iPad, multiple use modes, detachable keyboard, and a multi-touch trackpad. Now, flipping it over to the back, you get a few little pictures here. Form-fit protection, a smart connector, so it does not have its own battery. It connects directly to the iPad, and that's the battery it uses. You do get iPadOS shortcut keys, and it does support the Apple Pencil for charging. So, let's go ahead and take it out of the box here. So, you basically just slide this out, put that over here. Now, in here, you just get your Logitech keyboard. So, we'll set that off to the side, and under here, you do just get a little bit more of this paper material, and you get your little information sheet on the Logitech crayon, as well as an instruction manual in here. So let's go ahead and set all of this off to the side and take a look at the keyboard itself. So starting off with the bottom of it, which this is the keyboard part right here, you get just the Logitech logo. It does say Combo Touch right there. Moving on to the back, it says Logi right there, and you get a camera ring little protector right there. So the one thing I did notice right away is this thing is a fingerprint magnet. If you guys can see that right there, I actually wiped this thing down before starting shooting this video, and it's not doing the best job. This thing definitely is going to attract all of your fingerprints, so that is something to note. So when you open this up, you are greeted with the top of the case and the bottom. Now right here is your keyboard, and this is the case for the iPad itself, which does detach. So let's start off with the case, and then we'll get into the keyboard. Now on the inside, it does say Logi right there. You do get this plastic material, and right here you do have your connector for the back of the iPad Pro, so that is how the case is going to get its power. Now going along the sides, you just get this TPU style material going all the way around, and that will offer some shock absorption for the iPad Pro. So let's go ahead and grab our iPad Pro, and we'll put it in here. Now you just kind of align it down here to the connectors, and you just kind of snap it in on each side. Now I am using a tempered glass screen protector, and it is compatible. Now this thing is pretty difficult to get on. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. You just kind of have to sit here and work it around and click it in. I am using a full coverage tempered glass screen protector, and this works with it with no issues whatsoever. And let's go ahead and take a look around it. Now, starting off with the top, you do get your power button right there, your 2 speaker ports, and your microphone hole here. Moving on to what is actually, I guess, the bottom of it, the way it sits, but to the left-hand side of the iPad, you do have your connector pin right there, and that's where it's going to connect to the keyboard part. All of this is magnetic, so it is a pretty good magnet. It stays on there securely, so you definitely don't have to worry about it coming off unless you really wanted to. Moving along to the bottom, you get your 2 other speaker ports here and your USB Type-C port right there. Now let's go ahead and bring over a cable, and we'll test how nice and wide this is. So we are charging here, and you get a decent USB Type-C port. This is an anchor cable, and that's pretty much as large of a cable as you're going to get in there. Any of your even thicker head cables probably won't fit, so that is something to note right there. And moving along to the right-hand side of it, you get your volume up and down button here, and a spot that is open for your Apple Pencil. So let's actually look at how that's going to connect there. It just magnetizes, and it is a perfect fit for the Apple Pencil. So you will have no issues connecting that to the iPad or charging it with this case on. So let's go ahead and take a look at the keyboard part. Now, you do get your function rows right here, and you get a full keyboard right there, as well as a nice large trackpad and a TPU style material right here for your palm rest. Now, of course, just like the rest of the case, this will be a fingerprint magnet. It's going to catch all of your hand oils, anything like that. That is definitely something to note. So let's go ahead and connect it. Now it just pops on there like that, and you have a few different options. So you are able to fold this all the way, and you can use it here in tablet mode, or you can even disconnect it, and you have that stand on the back of here that is able to give you different viewing angles depending on how you want to watch your iPad or view it, whatever you're doing, you can even fold it all the way down just like this into like a drawing mode, or if you're sitting over top of your iPad, watch it just like that. And that does go to the bottom, and you don't have any issues of the actual flap right here, the stand disconnecting or anything. When you move it, it's not going to flap around. It's not going to move out of place unless you want it to. So let's actually reconnect the keyboard and we'll take a look. So as soon as you do connect it, let me show you over here. Right there, you do get those connection pins. It does say Logitech Combo Touch there. And it's very simple. There's no really connections, anything required. You just connect it just like that and you are good to go. Now, as soon as you connect it and put the keyboard case on, it will ask you to download the Logitech Controls app, which is free on the App Store, and you're able to do that with no issues. It downloads right away, and that just makes sure that your case and your iPad are compatible and that you have the most recent update for the firmware for the keyboard. So, starting off, let's actually go ahead and put this kickstand up, because obviously this is not going to hold up by itself. That is how you have to use this. You must take this little kickstand part here and set it up. Now, as soon as it is connected, it starts working right away. You don't have to charge anything because, of course, it does use the iPad's battery, and it does not drain your battery really whatsoever, so you don't have to worry about that. You won't notice any difference in battery life whether you use your iPad by itself or with the Logitech Combo Touch. So let's go ahead and listen to how this keyboard sounds, and we'll talk a little bit more about the trackpad. Now, we're going to type out the sentence, "The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog," because as you guys may know, that uses every single key on the keyboard, or at least every single letter of the keyboard. That way you can kind of hear exactly how it's going to sound when you're typing. Okay, so good clicks on these keys. You have no issues pressing them. Now, they don't have as much travel as the Apple Magic Keyboard or the ESR keyboard, which, by the way, if you guys haven't seen my video on that, I'll leave that right there at the end of the video. But pretty good clicks on this keyboard. I would like to see a little bit more key travel for this keyboard case, but for as thin of a profile as this is, if you guys can see that right there, I really don't expect too much more. I would like to see better key travel, but it is what it is. Now, you do get that function row. So here you're going to get a home button. You're going to get your screen brightness down and up. You get your keyboard brightness down and up, which, by the way, this does have 16 levels of keyboard brightness adjustment. You're going to get your Siri button, a screenshot button, a rewind button, pause, play, fast forward, mute, volume down, volume up, and a do not disturb button. Now, one issue I had with the function row is I really wish that instead of a do not disturb button, they made this just a lock button, just like on the Apple Magic Keyboard. It's so much more convenient if you're just using it to hit it, and you can lock the iPad without having to worry about, going up here and clicking it or whatever the case may be. Now, I know first world problems, don't be lazy, whatever, but it's just a small little nitpick. It is a review. That is something that I do want to mention to you guys. I would really like to see this key be switched out for the lock key. Now, maybe you guys use a lot more focus modes than I do. I'm not sure. Let me know down below, but I would really like to see that be changed. Now, when it comes to the trackpad, that's the biggest issue I have had with this keyboard, and that is this thing is super sensitive. Not so much for the mouse movement, but just for the clicks. I have gotten so many accidental clicks with this case, actually probably even more than the ESR keyboard, which if you guys saw my review, I do have some accidental clicks with that one. But on here, I find myself clicking so much because of how easy this keyboard is to click. And of course you can disable tap to click, but that is something that I use a lot. I don't like to sit here and click the keyboard every single time. I do use tap to click, but even without it, this keyboard trackpad is so sensitive for the click that when you are moving it around, I do notice myself accidental clicking and highlighting a bunch of text and, clicking off of a video or clicking off of a screen, whatever I'm doing. That is a huge issue for me. I get a lot of accidental clicks. So that is definitely something I would like to see improved about this. Now, another issue I've had with this case is just the amount of real estate it takes up. Now, let me actually go ahead and flip this sideways so you guys can see. And I am somebody who travels a lot, right? So I like to have my keyboard case on the airplane tray table. I do travel and fly a lot. So having this on the airplane tray table is practically impossible because of this stand right here. So it's not really an issue so much with the keyboard, it's just the size of this case. If you have it open all the way, there's no way this whole thing is fitting on an airplane tray table. It is really, really big. Whereas like the ESR keyboard or the Apple Magic Keyboard, they kind of stand alone by themselves. So you don't have this additional space being taken up right here. And those fit perfectly fine on an airplane tray table. Whereas this one, especially because, you know, you're going to want to angle the screen down a little bit. Look at how big this is. This is taking up the entire frame of the camera. And it definitely will not fit all the way open on an airplane tray table. And that's a big deal for me as somebody, I do work often from my iPad. I like to watch YouTube videos on there, type up documents, do whatever I'm doing. And having this large of a keyboard, you really do have to find the space for it, which is kind of defeating the purpose of the iPad. An iPad is supposed to be smaller than a MacBook or another laptop. Now, of course, this is the 13-inch. It's big, I get it. But just the amount of space it takes up, you might as well just bring a laptop onto the plane because of just how wide this is or how long it is, however you want to look at it, when it's completely open. So that is definitely a no-go for me. I cannot take this on an airplane. Now, of course, you can use it in just, you know, tablet mode, just like this. And of course, this will fit on an airplane tray table with no issues. But if you're someone who wants to sit there and type up some documents, or you just like to use your keyboard, this thing is really, really big for the airplane tray table. And that is something that I just can't get behind. So all of that being said, is this thing worth $259.99? And do I recommend it? And honestly, no, I don't. I would much rather have the ESR keyboard case as an alternative to the Apple Magic Keyboard than the Logitech Combo Touch. For its size, the trackpad is better. Even though I got some accidental clicks with that, the trackpad is definitely better. The keys have way better key travel, and they actually feel like a laptop. They are RGB, which is also a cool thing. You know, not everybody cares for RGB, but it's a plus when you can get it. If you want, you can just leave it at white, or you can have it on different colors, which is really cool. But the function keys are better. Everything is better. It has just a lot better of an experience for me than the Logitech Combo Touch, not to mention it's significantly cheaper as well. So for $259.99, to be honest with you, I would much rather spend that extra $100 and get the Apple Magic Keyboard than spend $259.99 on this. Or if you don't want to spend this much or that much, definitely check out the ESR keyboard case because, in my opinion, it's better than the Logitech Combo Touch. So let me know what you guys think about this one down in the comments below. Have you ever tried the Logitech Combo Touch? Are you interested in it? Let me know. Like I said, links are down in the description below. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. And if you're interested in seeing that ESR keyboard case, like I said, I'll leave that right there. If you want to see my first impressions and unboxing of the Apple Magic Keyboard, I'll leave that right there.